I wanna get in that country world once again.
I don't know about you, but I just gotta stretch sometimes. Good morning.
Morning. I'll stretch with you.
Yeah, it's not like a full yoga stretch, although I probably should be doing that too.
Hold the phone.
All right.
You said full. Are you? You heard it here, y'all. Emmett is doing yoga.
Well, I'm trying to do yoga. I got a yoga mat, but I can't say that it's been unrolled as often as it should be. I went on a couple of YouTube channels and I've done a couple of basic yoga things, and I see the benefit to it, but damn if I can't find the time most of the time.
I know. I'm lucky if I can get a 15-minute YouTube Zumba in.
Zumba on YouTube. All right, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
Everything's on YouTube, so that makes sense.
And I found this wonderful woman named Shelley Fowler, and I believe she's Australian, and she has all these 15, 20-minute exercises. And she's fun. She has a fun accent, so I'll just follow along, although sometimes I don't love the music. So I'm sorry, Shelley. I'll mute her, and then I'll put on something I want to hear, like some Joan Jett or some Christina Aguilera. Or
I just think it's nice that you know everyone's name. Like, you find someone that you like on YouTube or on TikTok or whatever, and you learn what their name is. I'm like, yeah, it's the one that does this, they look kind of like this, and they do these sort of things. I never know anybody's name.
Well, a name's important.
A name is important, but I just have a hard time keeping it in my brain. It's like the file cabinet that you put the names in.
Yeah.
It's got a hole in the back.
Y'all, it doesn't mean that he don't love y'all if he doesn't remember your name. It's just his head's full of a lot of good information, and there's only so much room in the file cabinet.
All right, so I was at a party once. Now, this is obviously a while ago because party. But I was at this party and met this lovely person. And we had...
I have to pause you for a second. When the beginning of the whole panty thing,
Yeah.
I remember saying to myself, Lord, what I wouldn't give to go to one of those parties that I got bored and went home early from.
That is a true thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so with this particular one, talking to this person, we probably talked for about 45 minutes. And at the end of it, I could not tell you her name, but I could tell you what school she went to, what she majored in, 3 interesting things about her life. I could tell you all about who this person was, but I could not for the life of me remember what their name was.
That's a thing. Sometimes remembering names is just really challenging. I'll be candid. I struggle with it myself. And I've tried some of those, devices where you just keep repeating their name. And people look askance at you when you say their name over and over in a new conversation. New as in you just met them and you just keep saying, oh, Patty, so is that right, Patty? So, Patty, tell me more about... So, anyway, Patty. And then pretty soon, you're just finding ways to get it in there, and you're saying things like, I love a good lean hamburger, Patty. You're just trying to remember the damn thing, and you're coming up with these devices. And, oh, peppermint Patty. Just me?
Well, no, I don't think it's just you, but I think you've taken it to a new level. I think that
I tend to do that.
I think you have raised mnemonic devices to an art form.
That's what they're called, mnemonic devices.
Mnemonic devices, yeah. It's a little bit like a Jackson Pollock art form, but you've definitely elevated it.
Lord have mercy. Now, is he still with us, Mr. Pollock?
I do not know. There are so many people that I think they've gone on because people get to a certain age and they're not producing, and therefore the media ignores them, and therefore we don't hear about them, so we think they're dead.
Although his work lives on.
His work lives on in 1,000 imitators as well, and I don't know. I understand the historical nature.
I'll just come out
of
and
his
say
work.
it. I was never a fan.
I was never a fan either.
I was never a fan.
And it's not that I don't like abstract art. I've certainly seen abstract art that
I
like.
very much enjoy.
But the paint splatter thing is...
But it led to a lot of really fun fashion in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, there are aspects
I mean,
to
to quote, Carrie and Carrie Diaries, a Pollock for your purse, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. But, okay, all right, for example, I'm just going to hold on one second. So, for example, I found an artist that was doing stuff based on the work of Hayao Miyazaki.
Ooh.
And so this artist, did these prints, and here we got No Face, and there's you could see the Jackson Pollock influence.
With the paint splatter.
With the paint splatter. But it's adding color and texture to an image, but it's not just a bunch of paint splatter. It's paint splatter incorporated into a larger artistic motif
Well, and I think what that's indicative of is how we have influences, and as we go forward as creative people, we draw on those influences and we incorporate certain aspects of a technique, whereas we can blend several techniques together and create something that, to my eye, is even more interesting than what would be just a base derivative of strictly splatter art.
Right, and so I like the end result of a lot of experimental things, but I do not like most experimental theater, experimental music, experimental art. I might like what that art inspires a generation or two down the road. But
All right.
the raw experimentation itself, I think you can go ahead and do in the rehearsal studio. I don't need to see it in the gallery.
I like how you mixed your artistic disciplines there with rehearsal studio and gallery.
Well, but yeah, I mean.
But I get your point.
Yeah, I get
so
the
now
point.
I have a question. So the gentleman that wrote Waiting for Godot, is he also the one that wrote the short play where they're standing in the garbage cans?
Yes,
Yep.
that would be Samuel Beckett.
Yep.
Yes.
Mr. Beckett.
Now that's one I have.
He's no longer with us.
No,
I
he's
know
no
that, but
longer
I am
with
just
us.
giving him. I guess I should salute upward or wherever you think he might have landed.
Now, I've seen a production of Waiting for Godot, and I gotta say that there are parts of that script that are very funny. And there are very funny parts, but it is.
Bill Irwin did a real good version of it in San Francisco.
Oh well, yeah. It's like I think Steve Martin and Robin Williams did a production of it in New York.
My lands, what I wouldn't have given to see that.
But I found that on the whole, like by modern standards, I'd say you want to go ahead and cut it down by half and all of that. It'd be an interesting exploration. But I read about that play.
Say more.
So turns out that play came out, and it's a play about waiting. It's a play about waiting in which, very intentionally, nothing actually happens.
That's
It
right.
was like an early version of Seinfeld. But it premiered in New York, and it got booed off the stage. Basically, it closed down almost immediately. And so then they took the cast. They went and did a staging of it at one of the local prisons, and the prisoners just lost their minds. Because the prisoners, their entire life is waiting.
When you
And so
contextualize something, it gains or loses meaning.
Right. So your average Broadway audience went and saw this play, and they're like, "What? What? No, I don't like this. This is making me uncomfortable. This is not something that I want to experience." You take it to a bunch of folks who are literally spending years of their life waiting for a thing that may never come, and they look at that and they're like, "I completely understand everything about this play, and this speaks to me in a deep and profound way."
That's extraordinary.
Yeah, I thought it was a fascinating thing. So I could see the play, and I'm like, okay, bits of this I like. I'd like it to be half this long and a bit more streamlined, but that's not what Beckett was doing.
No.
And that's not the point of the play. The play is supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's supposed to a certain extent bore you.
Because the tedium experienced by those prisoners on a day in and day out basis
It's mirrored.
is resonant from watching that play.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, when we are so focused on waiting for something to happen, we are in our own kind of mental prison.
We are. I mean, it's an existentialist play.
Right.
It's a play that's looking at the not quite a magical realism thing, but I think it predates magical realism a little bit.
I do think so.
But it's still that idea that by taking us out of reality as we know it, we can explore the human condition of ultimately we're all waiting for death. We're all marking time until there's no more
Or some
time
would
to
say
mark.
release or reward.
Release or reward, but we're waiting for a thing to happen. And also, we're waiting for a thing to happen without doing anything ourselves to make that thing happen.
Which in and of itself is
Loss of
kind of
agency.
a prison.
Yeah, it's kind of a prison. And
Fascinating.
And we put ourselves in that prison because we wait for other people to make things happen. And then when things don't happen, we just keep waiting and keep waiting.
Or we're not living in our present because we are so focused on the future and some idealized future. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't work to make your future self in a better position than your present self is. I think you should.
No,
I
yeah.
do. I think we should be
Investment.
living for the benefit. Pardon?
Investment.
Yeah, that way you are investing in your future self and making life easier on your future self.
But that invest in and just waiting are different things. I mean, like if you're just waiting for the future to happen,
Then you are in a prison.
Yeah, then you're in a
of your own devising.
Right. You know, get a shovel, start digging.
Lord, it makes the whole thing about gone to glory a very, very interesting proposition.
Gone to glory?
Well, you were talking about, waiting for death or...
Yeah.
Or,
I thought it was like a line, and I'm like, I don't remember that line in the play. But
no.
Like, I don't know that
Sorry
play
to confuse you.
I don't know that play by heart, but Gone to Glory.
Lord, I don't either. I mean, there are plays I do know pretty much by heart, but that is not one of them. But, so many folks, and Lord knows I love Jesus, but the question is, does he still love me? But that's another story.
He does. No, he does. It's all fine.
I hope so. I hope you do. At any rate, I digress. But, so many folks, well, I mean, like Aunt Nina, she was living her whole life waiting to go to glory. And I think she missed out on some glory here.
Yeah? Well, yeah, if you're so heaven-focused that you can't live life on earth.
I don't think that's what the Lord had in mind.
No. It's almost like everyone's living by Aunt Pink's egg timer.
Lord have mercy.
Just sitting there, just like turning the dial and just waiting for things to happen.
Okay, our Aunt Pink had an egg timer, and most egg timers, they look like an egg.
They look like an egg, yeah.
Or they're just like a little dial or something. Aunt Pink had a little clown egg timer, and it would spin slowly as it, you'd wind it up, and it would
polka
slowly...
dots just keep moving.
Yeah, and then as it got closer, it would spin faster and faster and faster, remember?
Yeah, I do, which is always weird because time don't work that way.
No, it don't.
But the timer worked that way.
Well, maybe it was trying to tell you, because we always used it to bake, and it was trying to tell you, hurry up, you want to get that oven mitt on and get that oven open, because you're going to take that out right when it's done.
I don't know. I just know I have dreams about that clown sometimes. And no one ever has dreams of clowns if they're happy dreams.
No.
The little clown going like, get it going, Emmett, get it going, get it going. My tummy's telling you it's time to move. I'm sorry, I had a dark, I have issues.
That explains why you hid Aunt Pink's egg timer once.
Once that you know of.
People don't like clowns. That is a thing.
Apologies to the clowns out there, but it's a thing. You know it. We all know it.
Oh, I'll tell you something. Me and my friend...
They all thought we were done. We're not done.
We're not done. I got to tell you the story about a clown. Oh, my lands. Okay, so me and one of my dearest friends back in high school decided it would be fun to go to the circus. And here we are, just a couple of cute little 16-year-olds wearing little outfits and excited. Well, we found the stage door to where the clowns made up. And we went there. And we thought they would be so happy to see us.
Oh, my goodness gracious. They were not.
Lance, let me just tell you what. The clowns were bitter.
Oh.
And they escorted us promptly outside of the room.
Yeah. That's a life lesson for you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, Addie. Clowns can't hurt you anymore.
Do you remember our mailman? He always wore the shorts.
I thought we were done again, but we're not done. No, I do remember
his
the mailman
knees
with the
look
shorts.
like two sad clowns.
Okay, now we're done.
That was a thing.
That's a thing. Wow.
So bring me the country sound when the sun goes down.